Whenever Cambridge applicants meet current Cambridge students, they're often interested in asking them how they found the application process. So we asked some current first year students here at Keys what they think they did well in the application process and what they might do differently if they had the chance again.
I think what I did well was doing some of my own research into parts of my subject I was interested in. So for me that meant researching Alzheimer's disease and just being able to give presentations about that at my sixth form and writing about it in kind of a research article was really helpful for me to get comfortable talking about science beyond my sixth form, and that helped me out at interview and also when I was writing my personal statement. What I wouldn't do again is probably stress so much about perfectionism in my A-levels. I think there's a time and a place when you know enough revision's enough and you don't absolutely have to smash the grade boundaries, you just have to get the grades, and it's more important to have fun.
In terms of what I did well, I think in my interview I definitely directed the conversation in ways that I wanted to speak about. I felt that the things that I'd written about in my personal statement were things that I was actually genuinely passionate about and felt that I had a great knowledge on, and that I could talk with someone who actually knew what they were talking about it, rather than putting things in that I thought were the right things to say and then not being able to back that up. On the same note, I would say something to probably not do in your application is to put something in because you think that it will make you look good and not actually knowing what you're speaking about it.
So I think what I did really well with my application was show I was really passionate about the course. I wasn't just applying to Cambridge because it's Cambridge, I was applying because I loved the course here. What I could do better, I think, was I didn't look into the course in too much depth. I'm more focused on what it was offering in terms of psychology, and I didn't really realise that they did also like sociological aspects and political aspects, and I didn't really look into that. And luckily I wasn't asked too many questions and things like that in the interview, but if I was, that would have been tricky.
I would say that even though you don't have to do an EPQ to get into Cambridge at all, for me it was a really good idea because it meant that I could steer the interview conversation to a topic that I was really confident on and I'd studied in depth, I knew a lot about, and it took up basically the whole of the first interview. So it just gives you that bit more confidence when you know what you're talking about. But what I would do differently is not try to prepare and script too many answers to interview questions, because you can never predict what they're going to ask you. It changes every year. It always goes better if it's just more of a natural conversation, I think.
I was quite focused on the admissions assessment. Because I took a gap year, I managed to have a lot of time to just focus solely on preparing for the interview and the admissions assessment. So I spent quite a lot of hours just being prepared, making sure I knew what to do. I think that I was stressing a bit too much over the interview because I was a bit scared that I would mess up somehow or I wouldn't know how to answer a question. But when I got in there, it was really nice and relaxed, the environment. I didn't want the interview to end. It was really fun discussing the subject with experts in the field, and the problems that we were solving, it wasn't too intimidating. I was able to do it and explore the subject a bit more. It was a really fun experience, so it's nothing to be scared of.